On ESPN. The Oklahoma Sooners, the number 3 team in the country, trying to make it 17 consecutive wins against the Kansas Jayhawks. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Jones, chopping it up with Robert Griffin III down in the field. Quint Kesnick will be covering it for us. He'll be joining us in just a few moments. Robert, Caleb Williams, a compelling story right now. What does his impact mean for the rest of the Oklahoma Sooner offense?
Well, I can tell you right now, he's like a stimulus check to the offense, right? He's giving them a spark. And what he does is he opens things up for everybody else. Kennedy Brooks, Eric Gray at the running back position, they get less eyes on them because of his dynamic running ability. The offensive line gets help because he can make things happen even when they make a mistake. And the wide receivers are benefiting from the fact that he is out there letting that dog hunt, throwing it with reckless abandon, and they are making plays for him. It's incredible to watch, and I know they want to keep that going here today against Kansas.
Well, Kansas won the toss. They will receive, deferring to the second half. Oklahoma coming into the ballgame off a very convincing win last week against TCU. The Jayhawks, meanwhile, losing last week against Texas Tech. They won their opener against South Dakota, but have since been on a losing streak. They're efforting to snap here this afternoon. Kansas receiving here. And out of the end zone, it's Logan. And he's going to be brought down right around the 20-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 from them. Quint, what's good?
Big hit to start things. A lot of crimson in the house as well. If you're Lincoln Riley, head coach of Oklahoma, you're looking for 2 things right now from this defense. The defensive line has to have a greater impact on this game than they've had the last 2 weeks. And then tackling. As simple as it sounds, Oklahoma, this Sooner team, to win the Big 12, you got to beat Iowa State, you got to beat Baylor, you got to beat Okie State. Their tackling has not been up to par.
A lot of eyes going to be on that defense for the Sooners today, especially the secondary. Kansas going to run it on first down. Devin Neal with about a yard on the play. Stutzman making the stop. Tackling, Robert, an issue for the Sooners.
Yes, and trust me, Bijan Robinson right there breaking all these tackles. There's not many backs like him in the country, but Oklahoma has to learn how to tackle and take advantage of a team like Kansas who, honestly, today is going to have to play their best ball all year to get a win.
Quarterback Jason Bean, the transfer from North Texas. Starting quarterback, 6'3" junior, completing 55% of his passes. You'll see them run the play clock down, be very methodical. They'll run it again. Devin Neal, little or no gain on the play. Deshaun White making the stop. Lance Leipold, the first-year head coach, trying to flip the culture here at Kansas. They practiced hard this week. There's a good vibe on the sidelines, he says, and they practiced well. But a daunting task ahead for the Jayhawks. 3rd down and 8 coming up. Mason Fairchild sets. Bean passing complete for the first down. Forward progress going to be beyond that marker. Kwame Lassiter making the catch. His 22nd of the season working against Billy Bowman. Lincoln Riley in his 5th season for Oklahoma. The Sooners looking for their first 8-0 start since 2004. And despite the fact that, Robert, they're 7-0, you'd never be able to tell when you listen to the coaching staff, right?
No, not from the meetings that we had this week. They're very upset. They have a standard that they want to live up to, and they don't feel like they have done that on either side of the ball consistently enough. So these Oklahoma Sooners could be pretty angry, and they're looking to take it out on these Kansas Jayhawks.
Jayhawks move the sticks. A little reverse here. Toss. It's McBride with a nice gain of about 7, maybe 8. Jaden Davis making the tackle for the Sooners. Jason Bean with a nice little bit of handiwork here. Selling the fakes.
Yeah.
Hands it off. 5 touchdown passes on the season against 4 interceptions.
Yeah, Jason Bean's been in a little bit of a pressure cooker over the past couple weeks. He started the season off pretty well, but he only had 86 passing yards last week. So that 3rd down conversion that they had just a couple plays ago was big for his development and his confidence.
taking a little bit of a step backwards the last couple of weeks. He's going to run it himself here. Gets the first down and hauled down by his jersey by Asamoah. 5-yard gain. Quint?
Great start for Kansas. You know, this game's all about little victories for this Jayhawk program, whether it's a third down conversion, an extended possession, winning a quarter. They're not going to judge themselves ultimately maybe by the final score, but they're going to judge themselves by the little victories that they can pick up along the way.
That's going to be a penalty up front. You know, the Jayhawks are quick to tell everyone willing to listen that wins haven't caught up with the culture that they are rebuilding here.
Offside, number 90. Defense jumped into the neutral zone, causing the offense player to react. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's against Josh Ellison for the Sooners.
As we were talking about, the wins, right? The wins haven't and the results haven't caught up to the culture. They don't believe they have a losing culture. And I can tell you right now, when you're trying to build a program, it takes time and patience. You have to teach a program how to win. And I went through that at Baylor. And hopefully we can see them continue to make those strides today as they face a daunting task against the Sooners.
First down and 5. They hand it off again. Little reverse action. Trevor Wilson, one of the more potent and dangerous players offensively. Key Lawrence making the stop on the play. Speaking of keys, Robert?
Yes, we talked about it. Shorten the game. Kansas needs to do that. They're going to run the clock down, try to keep Oklahoma off the field. No arrested development. Caleb Williams, you got to continue to develop and show that you're the guy, and then tackling for both teams is going to be paramount today.
2nd and 3 and another penalty up front. By the way, I like that arrested development.
Hey, man. I knew you was going to pick up on that one.
One of my favorites. Isaiah Thomas and Winfrey moving.
Offside, number 95. Defense, 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Isaiah Thomas moving up front. Leads the team in sacks. A little overzealous that time.
He got him twice right there.
Sure did.
Look, he got him on the first one. Don't go. Bow. Got him again. Great use of the snap count there by Jason Bean.
After the penalty,
Robert, you talked about shortening the game. What does it look like on the field?
Yes, when you talk about shortening the game, it's not just running the clock down. It's also about putting drives together. That third down conversion earlier, the first down they just got. When you do that, you keep Oklahoma's dynamic offense off the field.
Timeout on the field. Everything is off.
Oh, boy. We got a power hit.
Oh, no. Is this a Super Bowl?
Cue. Someone paying their light bills or not down there? Wow.
Oh, it seems like Quint's out, too.
Yeah, is Quint knocked out?
The back judge blew the whistle. The video board is out. The scoreboard is out. And we got a little momentary stoppage.
Yeah, you sure do.
I got to tell you one thing. You know, this Oklahoma team, 11 a.m. kickoff, road trip, gray, cold morning. Not the easiest thing for them to get up for after 2 really emotion-packed weeks. You come out here on the road, and there's a little bit of vulnerability. There's a little bit of malaise, Jonesy, on this Sooner sideline.
I like that. Would be easy for complacency to set in. But as you look at Spencer Rattler and head coach Lincoln Riley, of course, a lot has been talked about the quarterback situation at Oklahoma. And they have to hope that maybe that hasn't taken away from a little bit of the focus on this game. This is the quintessential trap game a little bit, right?
It is a trap game, and Oklahoma hasn't had a bye week yet. So these guys aren't just coming off of 2 emotional games like our main man Quint talked about. They also haven't had an opportunity to really rest and rejuvenate themselves.
Right. Looks like the official's going to be keeping time down on the field. Kansas looking at first down and 10 from the Oklahoma 45 as we resume play. Devin Neal in at tailback.
Hey, man, you can't let a few lights get in the way of a good game, right?
Bean keeps it with an RPO and crosses the 40, brought down at about the 39 by Agwebu. Second down and about 4 to go. It's Oklahoma defense with just 3 interceptions all season. 2nd and 4.
You just saw in that last play Jason Bean using his legs. We talked to the coaches this week, and they said, hey, we want to get him out on the perimeter more so he can utilize his full skill set. And I think they did that right there. Let's see if they continue to do that moving forward.
Hand it off again to Devin Neal. That's going to set up a 3rd down at about 2 to go. Ugwoegbu again making the tackle. What's it like playing without a play clock, Robert, as quarterback? And you can't look over there and see how much time is exactly left.
Well, I wonder how good of a relationship he has with the head ref there, because, maybe if the clock's running a little low, he can just, hey, man, give me 5 more seconds. I'm trying to run the clock down a little bit more. But it does affect you a little bit. But at the end of the day, somebody on the sideline is probably keeping the time for the quarterback so he knows how much time he has to make the calls and make the adjustments that they have to do.
Because that's a big part of their strategy today, right?
Without a doubt.
3rd down and 1. Lassiter in motion. They're going to run it and pick up the 1st down. Across the 35 down to the 33, the local product, Devin Neal, the team's leading rusher coming into the ball game this afternoon. The guy that coaches say is very coachable, very willing to learn, a charismatic, magnetic type of personality inside that locker room.
Not only that, Devin Neal is a 2-sport athlete, right? He plays outfitter for the baseball team, and he's a guy that really has bought in to Coach Leipold's philosophy and belief in this system.
10th play of the drive coming up. They run it between the tackles inside the 30 to the 29. Key Lawrence making the tackle. Quinn.
Well, with the scoreboard and clock out right now, the side judge, Fulton Carson, is effectively the human scoreboard. He's at the lower left 5-yard line right now, so he's got the clock. I'm going to swing around over to him in a second to see how much time's left in this 1st quarter.
All right, Q.
Hey, you never know, Q. Maybe he'll let you keep the time.
2nd and 7. They're going to run it all the way down. Hand it off again to Devin Neal. Isaiah Coe. 2-yard pickup on the play. I'm going to start keeping.
Hey, Mark, I was going to say, how do you know they ran it all the way down?
Because this Rolly costs a lot of money on my wrist.
Rolly, okay. We can't see anything up here.
I can multitask.
That is true. That is true. But to get back to the game, this is the perfect beginning to the game for Kansas. They're keeping the drive going. How do you keep the spark of an offense off the field? Just keep that Oklahoma defense on and keep getting 1st downs.
From the 28. 7:26 to go in the 1st quarter. Kansas eating up clock on this opening drive, completing another pass to Lassiter. His 2nd reception. Bowman in on the coverage.
Wow, this drive has been awesome. Kwame Lassiter's Kansas leading receiver right now. Jason Bean is looking like a different kind of guy right now.
Following the script perfectly.
Oh!
What was that? Asamoah. That's their
Offside.
3rd.
Number 24. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Alex Grinch has got to be a little bit upset with his defense right now.
Oh my goodness, Brian Asamoah. What do we got to call him? Wait Samoa? You got to wait, man. You got to let him snap the ball before you do that, buddy. Oklahoma's just all over the place right now.
From the 15, 1st and 5. Lassiter sets. Bean pulls it out, keeps it himself, got a blocker. And he ran out of bounds. It appeared as though he could have cut it into the end zone, Robert.
What is you doing?
At the 1-yard line, unless he's trying to run down clock.
Jason
which would be
Bean, they do the QB zone read, and he's running
to the end zone, Robert.
What is you doing?
At the 1-yard line, unless he's trying to run down clock.
Jason
which would be
Bean, they do the QB zone read, and he's running, and I'm sitting here saying, bro, what are you doing? Come on, man. Look at this. He just runs out of bounds. I don't quite understand what he was just doing there. But listen, it was a big play.
6:10 to go in the 1st quarter.
Maybe he knows something that we don't.
That was a strange play with him running out of bounds when it appeared he could have scored. 1st and goal. Well, there's the touchdown. Devin Neal doing the honors. And the Jayhawks couldn't have scripted a better opening drive to set the tone and tenor for this ball game.
You know what it was? They've been talking about Jason Bean and his leadership and how he stepped up over the past couple of weeks since he first got, or the past couple of months since he first got to the program. He just wanted Devin Neal to get the touchdown.
Okay.
That's what it was.
Okay.
He wanted his guy, Devin Neal, the true freshman, the heart and soul of Lawrence, Kansas, to get the touchdown there. What do you know? Looks like Jason Bean's been cool beans all day today right now.
Andy Kotelnicki, the offensive coordinator for the Jayhawks, told us that they needed to get Jason Bean off to a good start, Robert, to get his confidence level up early in wake of last week, and they've done just that to start this football game. This was the run that set it up. Left it at the 1, and then after that, Devin Neal cashing in with his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. A prohibitive underdog. The Jayhawks at the crib.
Battery power right now for their headsets. Oklahoma's headsets may not be working at this very moment. The lights are on in this stadium. It's a dark moment, and right now it's 5 minutes and 45 seconds to go in what's been a pretty shocking first quarter.
It is so many different ways, Quint. You're right. 5:45 to go, as you said in the first quarter. A campus-wide power outage. Some kids will do anything to get out of a midterm, huh?
That's a good one.
And a fair catch called by the Sooners. It'll be 1st down and 10. Eric Gray with the catch. Does that guy look worried? Caleb Williams? I don't think so. Back after this. Kansas leading Oklahoma 7-0 on the field. Off the field, we had a power outage campus-wide several minutes ago, but it appears as if things are improving. Scoreboard back on, Quint.
Yeah, power to the scoreboard. Both scoreboards and video board now back on. 5:45 on the clocks. Both coaching staffs' headsets fully functional. Looks like we're on our way.
All right, the utility company, or whomever was involved in getting the situation rectified, did a great job. So we're back with power and 5:32 to go in the first quarter. Caleb Williams, maybe the biggest story in college football right now. True freshman out of Washington, D.C., took over the reins of the offense a week and a half ago in that OU Texas game. Completes the pass here to the backup slot, Drake Stoops. Spencer Rattler on the right being usurped as the starting quarterback. 13-yard gain on the play. Caleb Williams came in and saved the day for Oklahoma. A 21-point comeback against Texas last week, solidifying his position with a convincing performance, 18-23 against TCU. Hands it off here to Brooks. Brought down by Gavin Potter. What do you like about what Caleb Williams has done in this short sample so far, Robert, on the season?
It has been a short sample, but my, oh my. He has been going out there, letting that dog hunt. He's been playing with reckless abandon like he's got nothing to lose. And he's special, right? The way that he plays the game is going to create a reaction out of this team that Spencer Rattler just can't provide.
2nd and 9. Williams hands it off again to Kennedy Brooks. Brought down by Logan. 3rd down coming up for Oklahoma.
And listen, when I say about that spark that he provides that Rattler doesn't, it's not that Rattler can't throw the ball. It's all about the running aspect that Caleb Williams brings. It opens up the entire offense for everybody. And because he's out there playing like he has nothing to lose, he's giving his receivers 50-50 ball opportunities down the field. And boy, are they feasting on those.
Eric Gray in at tailback, 3rd and 4. A blitz coming, and he's sacked back at the 36. They lit him up. And a big-time sack. They're going to get him off the field. Kyron Johnson. And it's 4th down. That's their 5th sack of the season.
I'm going to watch him right here. He's going to come and blitz. Kyron Johnson, they talked about him all week, and they said he's a guy, he's an effort guy, he's got talent. We wish we had 3 or 4 more of them because he can do his job and everybody else's. And what do you know? When you're playing a team like Oklahoma, your best players have to show up, and boom, there's number 15, Kyron Johnson, right on cue.
Michael Turk averaging almost 52 yards per punt. One of the best punters in the nation right now. A high spiral that will carry him into the end zone. It'll come back out first down and 10 on a 61-yard punt. But look at those defensive numbers. They have been porous so far this year, but they flipped the script on that opening drive for the Sooners. First and 10 Jayhawks when we return.
Down 7-0 to Navy. Desmond Ridder to Josh Wiley ties it at 7 apiece. Cannot confirm the report that it was Robert's cell phone chargers that caused the power outage.
Well, I can tell you that it wasn't, Matt. He got a lot of juice on his own. Short gain on the play on first down. Jason Bean off to a great start. The transfer from North Texas, arriving on campus just 7 months ago and slowly ingratiating himself to his teammates. When he first got here, he was very reticent, didn't say much. But as time went on, began to get to feel more comfortable and has won over that locker room and the huddle. Hand it off again, keep it on the ground. That's Torrey Lachlan with the carry, picks up a yard. It'll be 3rd and long.
When you talk about Jason Bean and how he first came to campus, they said he used to introduce himself as just Bean.
Right.
And they'd be like, what do you mean, Bean?
That's cool.
Jason Bean. I'm like, what are you James Bond? You're introducing yourself as just Bean?
I like that. Hey,
I like that a lot.
He'll have a lot of nicknames and a lot of doors open for him if he makes something special happen here this afternoon. Third and 6, Lassiter in motion. A little trips right formation. Delivers complete for the first down. And they move the chains again. Lassiter has been one of his favorite targets here early. Came into the game the team's leading receiver with 21 receptions. Picked up 9 yards on that. And look at that. This first quarter is almost done.
Yeah, they talked about wanting to win quarters, right? And they're a minute away from winning the first quarter here against Oklahoma. And when you talk about Kwame Lassiter, looking at his yardage and his receptions, he's a chain mover for Jason Bean. He's a security blanket. And right now, Jason Bean's throwing the ball with accuracy. He's using his legs. Everything they talked about wanting to do, they're doing right now.
They run it again. Nice move outside. Neal on the move. Neal ready to deal and pushed out of bounds at the 25. The Jayhawks firing on all cylinders right now offensively. A 44-yard scamper here.
Look at this. They bring the receiver in, get the safety block. Devin Neal gets to the edge, and he's rumbling, stumbling, bumbling down the sideline. Wow, what a play by Devin Neal.
From Lawrence, Kansas, just down the street. 5'11" freshman wanted to come here and make something special happen. 13 seconds to go in the quarter. Keeps it. Bean keeps those legs firing. And pushed out of bounds finally by Pat Fields. Let's see where they spot this. He came close to picking up another first down. They're going to move it back, though. Picked up 6. And that's going to be the final play of the first 15 minutes. Here in the penultimate weekend in October. Kansas controlling this football game so far and leading where it counts the most on the scoreboard.
They are shortening the game, and Kansas is in the lead, showing Oklahoma it's not going to be that type of day today.
In college football over the last couple of weeks, a look of assurance etched across his countenance right now. No worries right there as he gets ready to take the field shortly, but right now the story is about the Kansas offense. As Devin Neal picks up a couple of yards. They lead 7-0, Robert. They won the first quarter, which was the goal. They want to win quarters. They want to stack quarters. Short-term goals. They can check that box off.
They can definitely check that box, and they're trying to make sure that the merit in the work that they've been doing shows up. And right now, it is. They're controlling the clock. They're actually controlling the line of scrimmage, which is something that not many people thought they would be able to do coming into this game.
33 keeps it himself. Bean got the first down and slides in safely at about the 7-yard line. First and goal for the Jayhawks on the 5-yard run.
At this point in the game, instant replay is back up and running. At this point, instant replay is back up and running.
You see here, Jason Bean on the mesh point, boom, makes the defensive end make a decision, gets out and go, and this is something that the Sooners have struggled with. Athletic quarterbacks who can run, and not just kind of fast. This guy is fast, right? He's a runner, he's a track star out there, and they are having some trouble corralling him and keeping him inside the pocket.
The Sooner defense on its heels right now. Run it again, Neal between the tackles, picks up about 4 on the play. Stutzman making the tackle for the Sooners. That offensive line doing a nice job. And just a few moments ago, the lead official telling everybody that the replay booth and TV replay booth officials were back and operational after that power outage campus-wide a moment ago. The video scoreboard is back as well. Kansas has run 22 plays. This is going to be 23. Oklahoma just 5. Keeps it again. Bean to the edge. Touchdown! They are giving the Sooner defense that work right now, but there's a flag down at about the 3-yard line. Let's see if it stands.
Looks like it's going back. Whenever you see those offensive linemen walking backwards, they know what's up.
Holding, number 54, offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Still second down.
It's going to go against Michael Ford.
They were driving the car nicely, right? And then Mr. Ford there had to put a brake to all that, but still have an opportunity here.
Offensive line otherwise doing a great job. When you look at last year, they gave up 9 sacks in this game to Oklahoma.
So we can say so far, not only they're not giving up sacks and protecting the quarterback, they are running the ball with extreme success against this Oklahoma front, which has created havoc for a lot of people.
2nd and 12 on the jet sweep. They'll hand it off to Lachlan, and Lachlan is brought down after a 4-yard gain just inside the 10. 3rd down and goal. What do you like in terms of a play call here, Robert?
When you sit here and you've got Jason Bean, he's playing well. This is an obvious passing situation, 3rd and 8. If you play it safe and don't trust him in this moment, you run the ball. But if you can trust him and say, hey, you're playing well right now, we're going to give you an opportunity to make a play, make a throw, I like the fact that they might try to attack with Trevor Wilson, number 7, if he's out there on the field right now.
So they can get a first down without scoring a touchdown.
He's not out there right now, so look for him to work this up top.
Handed off and nowhere to go. Lachlan got stopped immediately. Downs in on the stop for the Sooners, and they get the defense off the field. Nito, right there, number 11, making the tackle. The leader of the defense, one of them, out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. St. Thomas Aquinas, 4th down coming up, and in comes Jacob Borsilla.
Right there, it looked like Jason Bean should have pulled that on the zone read that they ran. Trying to play it safe, get the points, go up by 10 if they can make this here. No problem with that at all.
4-7 on the year. Make it 5 of 8. The Jayhawks leading 10-0. They'll take the field goal. The Oklahoma Sooners on their heels, a little bit rattled, a little disconcerted right now. Caleb Williams will take the field, brimming with confidence when we come back. 10-0, Kansas. Still waiting for this Sooner offense to get on track. They've only had a small opportunity so far. They've only run 5 plays, folks, if you're just joining us. Fair catch called, 1st and 10 from the 25 for Caleb Williams. Let's go back to the studio first.
Gentlemen, big news today for Penn State. Sean Clifford back starting for the Nittany Lions. Is this a coverage break or a slip or something? But Keandre Lambert-Smith just waltzes his way into the end zone. 7-0 Penn State over Illinois.
All right, thanks a lot, Matt. Back here, 1st and 10. Caleb Williams, the top-ranked quarterback in the class of 2021. Getting the start again here, his 2nd start. Made his first last week against TCU. They're going to run it. And a nice hole for Kennedy Brooks. Picks up a 1st down at about the 37. Kenny Logan Jr. making the tackle in the secondary. But a 12-yard gain for Brooks, who's really found new life with a new quarterback, Caleb Williams.
He's almost got more rushing yards since Caleb Williams became the starter than before that. You see it right here, first 5 games, 63.6 rushing yards in the last 285. He's really turned it on after opting out last year.
Williams pulls it out, taking a shot, got the post, and overshot his receiver, West. Wow, and he knew it.
Oh, Trayvon West, wide open down the field. Maybe the wind here is a little bit different. Caleb Williams couldn't quite guide that one to him. He's been dropping dimes down the field all year. Look at him right here. He's like, oh, I got him. Oh, my Lord, what happened? You just missed him by a little bit, buddy.
Sets up a 2nd down and 10. Pulls it out again. Got plenty of time. Takes a shot downfield. It's up for grabs. And picked off by the Jayhawks in the secondary. That's Ricky Thomas.
I told you that Caleb Williams has been throwing a lot of 50-50 balls down the field. And his receivers have been coming away with them. But right there, Ricky Thomas. Just the right man in the right spot at the right moment. And right now, Kansas has everything going for them. They're getting sacks. They're getting interceptions. Oh, my goodness, the fans are going crazy out here. Caleb Williams throws a pick. Kansas says, we're ready. We've been ready for this one all year. So right here, you see Jaden Hazelwood. They're trying to sneak him underneath the coverage, running a post over the top. Double post, and right here, this is when Caleb Williams needs to throw the ball. He's got them beat. If he throws this down the field, it's a touchdown. You can see the vision right there. He doesn't. He second-guessed it, so now he tries to come back to it late and make the throw, and now he underthrows it. Ricky Thomas is right there in position to get the interception. Just a bad decision right there by Caleb Williams. I've told you guys at the beginning of the broadcast, he's been playing with reckless abandon, and it seems like he can do no wrong, but right there, playing with fire caught up to him.
That was his first interception of the season. Again, 6 touchdown passes, 1st and 10, coming back the other way. Bean fires, complete to Lassiter, who's been his favorite target so far this afternoon. And what a beginning for the Kansas Jayhawks. You'd have to go all the way back to October 26, 2019 to find their last conference win. It was about this weekend 2 years ago when they last beat a conference foe. And a very methodical Jason Bean looking over at the sideline. Play clock below 10. That's the formula today. Shorten the game. Little counter across the formation, and Devin Neal with no gain. Robert, what do you make of what's transpired so far? The mood, the result, especially on the Sooner side of the ledger.
It just seems like Oklahoma's asleep right now, right? They showed up, they're not awake, and Kansas taking advantage of it. They're shortening the game, they're running the ball, owning the line of scrimmage. Jason Bean is playing out of his mind right now, being, a distributor, throwing the ball, running the ball outside the tackle. And man, oh man, when you talk about Kansas and getting the results on the scoreboard, You see it happening right now. They're being relentless, and they have a belief in what they're doing.
Bean overthrows Lassiter, had him, but it'll be third down.
There is a lack of emotion on this Oklahoma sideline right now. Their fans showed up here. It's a 5-hour drive north, but this team has not brought the juice. And this is the type of game with a 6:20 a.m. wake-up call, an 11 a.m. local kick. It's cloudy, it's chilly, it's 50 degrees. There's just a lack of energy, a lack of emotion, a lack of sense of urgency. Yeah, they've come from behind before this year, but they need a spark right now. They need something to turn the momentum of this game.
A great point, Quinn. Remember, they trailed by 21 in that thrilling, enthralling comeback against Texas. Bean takes a shot, complete at midfield. That's Arnold making the catch. Lawrence Arnold. And that's going to be a first down on a 15-yard gain, Robert Griffin.
You know, coming into this game, a lot of people said Jason Bean can't throw, he can't do this. And boy, is he showing everybody what he can do. On the move, keeps his eyes down the field, throws a dime down the field to Lawrence Arnold. Wow, Jason Bean is really playing at a high level. Last week he only had 86 passing yards, but this week he is leading Kansas right now in the first half to the lead over the Oklahoma Sooners.
He's 6 of 7 so far, 63 yards, and has run it 7 times for 44. Hands it off again, and boy, look at Devin Neal. Put his hat down and bring some boom. Ran over a couple of Oklahoma players. Lawrence finally making the tackle after the 8-yard gain. Well, this is what it looked like to start the contest. Jayhawks took the opening kick, took their time. They were very methodical, and Jason Bean with that key run set up this touchdown run by Devin Neal. It was 7-0, and they were on to something at that point. They had a power outage. And I'll tell you what, Kansas turning on the juice right now. Here he goes again. Bean, that's going to be a penalty. Or maybe not. Looked like he got him by the face mask or the collar.
I think he got him underneath the face mask in the front, so.
My bad.
No. It was a violent hit. You see it right here. He gets him underneath the face mask and grabs him by the neck. You know, maybe he tackled him like that because he's a little frustrated. He's looking at the scoreboard too, and he's like, "Is that thing working? Is it 10-0 right now? What's going on, man?"
3rd and 1. Yeah, we had a power outage for about 5 minutes. They were keeping the time down on the field with one of the officials.
You know, the most impressive thing from Kansas offense right now is that they've been balanced. And you and me both know a balanced diet always starts with a cupcake in each hand. And right now they're eating one of the passing game and one out of the running game. It's been very impressive.
Kansas has called their first charge timeout of the first half. Timeout on the field.
7:10 to go. The score and the power is on right now. It's working. And 10-0 is the score. Back after this. Whitewater, where they went undefeated a couple of years. After that, Buffalo, where he brought several transfers with him here to Kansas. On 3rd and short. They're not going to get it. They got stopped. Oh, and they finally got it on a late surge. Wow. He got a late push from some of his biggest and best friends.
Look, he was, they were banging their head against the wall there for a little bit. It's like, oh, it's done, it's done, it's done. They're like, no, buddy, we got you. We're going to push you on through there, okay?
Now, when do officials decide to blow the whistle? How do you know when the guy stopped?
They should have blown the whistle. Come on. He was stopped there, stood up straight up in the air. They were starting to levitate him like Jesus to the clouds.
Wow.
And they still let him keep going. Hey, it's just that type of day.
And we got a timeout called by the Jayhawks with 6:32
of the first half, 30 seconds in length.
and an upset brewing on the plains of Kansas as we check in with the studio.
Yeah, Jonesy, one of those early windows where weird things are going on across the country. However, Wake Forest tied with Army. Hartman to A.T. Perry. Defender slips. Demon Deacons take advantage. 21-14 in the second quarter.
Now, to give you a little bit of context about the Jayhawks, this is their first lead against a top 25 team since 2014. We mentioned earlier they haven't defeated a conference opponent since this weekend 2 years ago, and they've lost 16 straight times to the Sooners. But remember, Coach Leipold talks about belief. He talks about relentlessness and pride. Part of the culture here. That pass incomplete for Lassiter. He was locked in on him the entire way there, it appeared, Robert. Incomplete. McCutcheon broke it up.
Yeah, McCutcheon out there. He's playing because of some injuries that they've had in the secondary, but Jason Bean was locked on to Lassiter there. And when he's thrown it to him today, more times than not, it's worked out. So it's kind of hard to blame him, but you don't want to telegraph a pass like that.
From the 39, second down and 10. Play clock once again down below 10 seconds. Neal in the backfield. Takes the handoff. Maybe got half a yard on the play. Well, tomorrow's Sunday NFL Countdown. Before they face off, Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff sit down to discuss their blockbuster trade. Plus Randy Moss with his You Got Moss, best ones, best catches in college football and otherwise, and kick off your Sunday morning NFL Countdown at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Talking about an awkward conversation. How about those two?
Wow, I got to hear that one and see that.
That'll be interesting.
Under 6 minutes to go. So Oklahoma defense has spent a lot of time on the field in the first half here. Play clock at 4. Bean wisely throws it away. Nobody open on that play. Torrey Loughlin, the nearest receiver, and it'll be 4th down. That one never really seemed to have a chance, and for the first time this afternoon, Reese Vernon comes in to punt.
No, they're actually going to kick a field goal. Look at this.
Okay, my bad. This is going to be a long one. 56-yarder?
He's getting the shoulders loose for this one.
Let's call it 57. Got it up in the air, but he's going to pull it left.
Didn't get those shoulders loose enough.
I tell you what, they're shooting their shot today, though, Robert Griffin III.
They are shooting their shot, and Jason Bean is managing the game and the clock. Got to give him his kudos.
And sprinted to the end zone. Ran for 217 yards. A couple of go-ahead touchdowns. As Oklahoma, with a spirited, raucous comeback against Texas in the Red River Showdown. And they won it 55-48, an instant classic.
False start, number 71, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So the penalties have piled up against Lincoln Riley's crew. 3 on defense, this one here on offense. And look at the difference in plays called so far and time of possession. This is the formula that Kansas wanted to follow. 1st and 15 out of the shotgun. Williams completes it at about the 39-yard line. Drake Stoops working against Kenny Logan, picks up 5. It'll be 2nd down. Sooners going with tempo here at the 39-yard line. They run it again. This time it's Brooks, brought down by Gavin Potter. Gain of 3, it'll be 3rd down. The Sooners moving with urgency.
And this is the problem when you go so fast, right? Kansas is trying to keep them off the field. Oklahoma loves to go fast when they get out there, but if you cannot sustain drives, you put yourself back on the sideline and it continues to keep you in a hole, in a rut. You guys don't get involved in the game. This is a big 3rd down for them right here in the first half.
They've got to get to the 49 to pick up the first. Williams surveys, fires, complete. Hazelwood with the first down at the 41-yard line. Jaden Hazelwood, who had a big week last week with 3 touchdowns, really emerging He picks up 17, and he blew a tire.
Guys,
too.
that was a filthy throw right there by Caleb Williams. They gave him all day. He scanned the field, found his guy, Jaden Hazelwood, right there with the dreads, right across the middle of the field. And what? He loses a shoe? Hey, Jordan Brand, man, get him some shoes that can stay on, guys. Come on now.
Lace up. First down and 10 from the 41. Williams keeps it. Backside heat. Great move to get away. And this is why they call him Superman. Williams making a little bit of magic with his feet. Tiptoes out of bounds at the 26, but there's a flag down way back at the 44-yard line. There was a missed tackle by Jeremy Robinson for Kansas as well. But that's the added dimension that Lincoln Riley really loves about his quarterback, Caleb Williams.
Personal foul, illegal blindside block, number 71. Offense, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. It's still first down.
As you said, that added dynamic, right, of his feet. He's quick, strong, elusive. He even hit a Russell Wilson spin move back out. But right here, our guy, number 71, Anton Harrison, with the blindside block. Although at times Caleb Williams can make his offensive linemen look good even when they make mistakes, he's got to be smarter right there. He's already passed, the play's over. There's no need for that block.
Williams, a competitor, a guy that decided to come to Oklahoma despite the fact that Spencer Rattler was QB number 1, expected to be a high NFL draft pick. Brooks picks up about 3. Under 3.5 to go in the first quarter. We got another flag down on the play. Kansas, clearly the team right now playing with much more almost religious zeal and fervor.
After the play is over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 54. Offense.
Look at that. Oh my goodness.
Second down.
That is not a pancake, Marquise Hayes. You cannot do that, right? Your team's already down 10-0. You don't need to be shooting yourself in the foot and putting your offense in an even worse situation. It's getting a little chippy out there right now. Maybe Oklahoma's a little upset that they're down 10-0, but the way to get back into the game is not to commit personal fouls like this one. What is blocking Ricky Thomas there going to do? The play's already over. Now it's 2nd and 37.
They got to get to Manhattan, Kansas to get a first down here. Williams throws a dart complete to Hazelwood again, and another flag. 3 of them down on the field. That's going to be a face mask.
Oh, wow.
At about the 49.
Yeah, it looks like Jeremy Webb there. Got a little bit of face mask there as he was trying to come in and make the tackle on Hazelwood. Grabs it. And a head-to-head. Oh, helmet to helmet. That might be targeting.
Personal foul, face mask, number 9. Defense, 15-yard penalty and automatic first down.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a 15-yard one.
Right here, you see him. He just goes for the tackle, pulls the head, and then Rich Miller comes in. Almost looks like he launches at him, but it looks like they're going to let that one go.
After the penalty, first and 10 Oklahoma at the Kansas 37.
Sooners on the move here. Williams wisely throws it away. Nobody home, but it'll be 2nd down and 10. This is not something you see often with a Lincoln Riley team. And they're going to say it's grounding because, well, he was in the pocket.
Intentional grounding, number 13. Offense. There was no receiver in the area, and the quarterback was still within the tackle box.
Well, there you go.
Lost it down. Second down.
There's your explanation. It's going to come back.
I would say that's their explanation, but I don't know if I'd quite agree with that call there by the refs. They're running a screen. Caleb Williams sees that it's dead, so he throws the ball out of bounds in the vicinity, and he's got all 3 of those guys over there. That's an offensive lineman and 2 receivers in the area of the throw.
Yeah, Drake Stoops is right there.
Now, if you want to talk about was he trying to throw it to that guy? No, he wasn't. He was throwing it away. But as a referee, you have to understand that if the receiver is in the area, you can't throw that flag.
Well, they move it back nonetheless at the 48. Williams has time again, finds his man underneath on the crossing route. That's Mims. Mims, the team's leading receiver yardage-wise,
Number 17.
gets a chunk of that yardage back. It'll be third down, about 9 or 10 to go. A 13-yard pickup by Mims.
Yeah, they do a nice job just hiding Mims underneath, running a double cross concept. He is a big play receiver, but right now, yards is good thing for this Oklahoma Sooners offense.
Look at that. We're going to have a procedure penalty against
Prior to
Oklahoma.
snap, false start, number 27. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
That's against Jeremiah Hall. 8 penalties, a total of 66 yards for Lincoln Riley's team already.
This is very uncharacteristic of them. This is not the type of team that they are, but we talked about it with Quint earlier. They're just not awake right now. They're committing penalties. They're shooting themselves in the foot, throwing interceptions, getting turnovers. Defense isn't stopping anybody. They got to wake up quick, otherwise it's going to be a problem.
They have more penalty yardage than passing yardage right now. 3rd and 12. Williams finds his receiver. That's Hall, but he's short of the first down, tackled by Jeremy Webb. And 4th down coming up with under 2 minutes to go. Let's see what Lincoln Riley does here. Williams is still on the field. And they're going to go for it here on 4th down from the 33-yard line. Trailing 10-0. They're 5 of 7 on 4th down situations this year. Eric Gray in the backfield beside Caleb Williams. Williams surveying. Tells his receiver go downfield. Got him. Crowded. Incomplete to Eric Gray. Oh, is it? They're ruling a catch.
Ruling on the field is a completed pass, first down.
It's complete at the 3.
What a catch!
And now they're saying incomplete.
Like I said, we got to see if he caught that bad boy, but here it is, Eric Gray, the running back out of the backfield.
Ruling on the field is an incomplete pass.
He did not catch it.
Ball goes over, first down.
Right the first time, incomplete. Wow. He sold it. Let's check in with the studio.
All right, guys, coming up on the Lexus halftime report, Cincinnati's got a sneaky Navy team today. We'll get you highlights of that, plus Wake Forest and Army. That's also a good one. We'll get you caught up on them. And Penn State and Sean Clifford, he's back in action. We've got highlights. Sam Acho, Joey Galloway join me coming up on the Lexus halftime report.
Let's take one more look at that incomplete pass a moment ago. Had it right the first time. It was incomplete. One of the officials ruled that it was complete. He stepped in to spot it.
Yeah, what it looked like is Gavin Powder just got in the vision of Eric Gray right at the last second, and he lost the ball, and it goes right through the breadbasket.
Keeping it, cuts it upfield, and picks up about 5 or 6 on the play. Under a minute to go, and this game being shortened by Jason Bean and Kansas.
You hear us keep referring to they're shortening the game, they're shortening the game. What they're doing is they're running the clock all the way down as much as they possibly can. And that puts the pressure on them to make sure that they can continue moving the chains, getting first downs. But it also keeps Oklahoma's offense off the field. And that's why all these possessions become even more paramount. So mistakes like that, going for it on 4th and 6 and not getting it, hurt you badly.
2nd and 5. Run it between the tackles, and a nice gain by Neal, brought down by Asamoah. That's going to be the last play of a very stunning, surprising, somewhat shocking first half as the Jayhawks lead it 10-0. They talk about changing the culture. Nothing changes culture faster than success and wins. As we go back to the studio, Kansas leading 10-0.
What a surprise we have brewing as we welcome you in.
To the Lexus Halftime Report.
Lexus did it for me.